Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into this video in which we will look at simplifying algebraic fractions. So what are algebraic fractions? Well, they're just like normal fractions except they have some pronumerals like x's or a's or b's or whatever. So the rules for simplifying normal fractions are the same as those for algebraic fractions. So if I wanted to simplify 9 over 24, what you can do is put it in your calculator, or if you're doing it by hand, you need to find a common factor. You need to find the highest number that goes into 9 as well as 24. And that turns out to be 3. You see, 9 is 3 times 3, and 24 is 3 times 8. So you can cross out or cancel a common factor. You can cross out the 3's here on the top and the bottom. You can only cross out a factor. You can only cross out something that's being multiplied. So I can cross out these two 3's because they're being multiplied. And my final answer is 3 over 8. These two fractions here are equivalent. They're both equal to 0.375, but this one's said to be simpler because it has lower numerator, top number, and denominator, bottom number. So we're going to follow the same process for something like 8x over 20. So you can put 8 over 20 in your calculator. It'll tell you it's 2 over 5. So why is it 2 over 5? Well, 8 and 20, they have a common factor of 4. 8 is 4 times 2. So 8x is 4 times 2 times x. And 20 is 4 times 5. You can cancel out something that is being multiplied on top and bottom. So, of course, you're just left with 2 times x over 5. All right, so what about something like this? Well, you can cross out anything that's common on the top and the bottom. See, this is 45 times A times B times C. Similarly for the bottom. So because B and C are being times, we can actually just cross them straight out. So 45 over 75, their highest common factor is actually 15. So 15 goes into 45 3 times, 15 goes into 75 5 times. I'm left with an A on the top and a D on the bottom. These two fractions are equivalent, but this is said to be simpler because it has lower numbers on numerator and denominator. All right, so how would we simplify something like this? 4x plus 12 over x plus 3. Now, heaps of people say, okay, cool, just cross out the x's. You can't actually do that. That is wrong. You cannot cross out something that's being added. It's only something that's being multiplied. So this here is completely wrong. So how am I possibly going to simplify this? Remember, we can only simplify things that are being multiplied. So we're going to try and rewrite this so it's something times something. We are going to factorize. If we factorize the top, they have a common factor of 4. So the highest common factor out the front. What do I times by 4 to get 4x? What do I times by 4 to get 12? So if I write it like this, now I can cancel. I can't cross out just the x's though, because they're not being times, but I can cross out the whole x plus 3. X plus 3 is being times by 4. On the bottom, it's almost like x plus 3 is being multiplied by 1. I can cross these two out because they're being multiplied, and I'm just left with 4 over 1, which is 4. So similarly here, I can't cross out the x squareds. That's wrong. X squared's not being times, it's being added or subtracted. So we can't cross them out. You can only cross out, you can only cancel factors that are being multiplied. So in order to simplify this, what I'm going to do is factorize the top and factorize the bottom. So the top is a quadratic trinomial. I find two numbers that multiply to 12, add to -7. So those numbers turn out to be -3 and -4. The bottom is a quadratic trinomial. It is the difference of two squares. Perfect square minus perfect square. So the way we do that, the way we factorize that, 2 brackets, square root the first, square root the second, 1 gets a minus, 1 gets a plus. So now I can cross out these two because they are being multiplied on the top and the bottom. So I'm just left with x minus 3 over x plus 4. That is the final answer. I can't simplify this any further. I can't cross out the x's because they're not being multiplied. So x minus 3 over x plus 4, these two fractions are actually equivalent. They would give you the same number no matter which value of x you substitute. However, this one's said to be simpler because it has lower numbers on the numerator and the denominator. All right, thank you so much for tuning into this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.